Welcome back, YouTube family, and in today's video, if you haven't seen the previous Schrodinger video, I'm going to be talking about a company that is poised for success in the very long term. I mean, we're talking about a company that it's growing so rapidly that it's absolutely insane. After this video, I hope you guys are super impressed with this company, especially for those of you who have never heard of this company before. I hope you get a lot of value from this video. And if you do, don't forget to smash that like button if you have a second. And before I get started talking about this awesome company, don't forget to smash the subscribe button because it really helps out the YouTube algorithm and helps out my channel. And by doing so, you will never miss a piece of valuable content like this. Without further ado, let's dive right into Schrodinger. Let's go. Welcome back. Long time no see. Let's dive into Schrodinger. I think you guys are going to get a lot of value from this and really understand why I'm really bullish on this stock. I think there's a lot of value here, and hopefully if you haven't watched my previous video, which we'll get into in just a second, hopefully this video, paints a better picture for you about why I think this stock is going places. And so Schrodinger, this company is, very exciting to me and to a lot of other people, including Bill Gates. And I'm going to get into exactly why. And there's definitely a lot to be said about this play here. And I honestly won't get into a lot or anything really that I talked about in this video here that I did a month ago, but I'll link it in the comment section for you guys if you want to watch it, after this video is over. And so really briefly, let's talk about their revenue over the last few years and this last quarter, which I think there's some interesting things to point out. So 2017 revenue was about 55 million and net income was negative 17 million. Again, this is a growth company. So as you guys know that are growth investors, growth companies usually lose money net income, but grow in revenue. That's what you want to see. And eventually you want to see that flip to the point where now they're making net income quarter after quarter after quarter, but their revenue is also increasing. That's a really good sign of amazing growth potential in a stock. So here we have 2017, remember 55 million. 2018, we have 66 million. That's a 20% increase. And 2019, we have 85 million, which is another 28% increase on top of that. Now look at this. This last quarterly report of Q3 of 2020, we don't have Q4 yet, but Q3 of 2020 was one of their biggest revenue quarters yet, 25 million. It's similar to this one here, 26 million. Very close, back to back, pretty much quarter one and quarter three, very similar. But the main difference that you want to pay attention to here is their net income was almost $4 million. Their first profitable net income ever. And that is huge for this company. So next, let's look at the nitty and gritty of this stock. Some of this is going to blow you away. At least I hope so. And if you really sense that I put a lot of time in this video, because I did, make sure you smash the like button because it really helps me out and helps me make more content like this for you guys. So here we have some of the rewards here. The earnings forecast is to grow 58% per year, which, as you saw in my previous example of the quarter, it's done that, right? It's finally profitable. It's really good to see. And the revenue did grow over 30% over the past year. So this company is still in the initial growth phase where it did 30% last year, but it's expected to do 57% next year. That is really good to see. So next, let's look at their revenue. So the revenue here, starting from the past of 2020, was roughly $85 million per year. And then fast forward to the following year, December 30th, 2020, it went all the way up to 112 million with a slight loss of earnings of 18 million for that year. But this is where it gets juicy because like I said, they're just starting to grow. And if you look 1 year forward, their revenue is almost set to double, almost $60 million more in revenue. And their earnings for that year is supposedly going to be negative $4 million for that year, end of 2021. But I think that would be their first positive year. Could be wrong, but I do want to point that out because they did have their first profitable quarter in Q3 of 2020. But next year is going to blow you away. So here we have the end of 2022 and the revenue jumped pretty much double from the end of 2020, and their earnings went from supposedly negative 4 million all the way to a positive $28 million. So that's an increase of $32 million. Insane on their earnings. And the year after that only gets crazier. An additional $100 million in revenue and an additional $75 million in earnings. crazy stuff. And I don't want to get too carried away here, but 2024 is much better. Revenue, 500 million. It says 480, but you can just assume that that's pretty much like the low ball for them because these are analysts. This company could grow insanely fast, and their earnings is $220 million. And the year following that, which is December 30th, 2025, the last year that we have data on, is looking to be a $600 million year in revenue and a $300 million year in earnings. So super, super wild. I think this is totally doable. And I think they could reach, by 2030, if this continues, it looks like they would be hitting about $1 billion in earnings per year. And this is net. This is not gross, right? Their revenue would be well above that. Like we're talking $2-3 billion. Totally possible. These are, again, an analyst forecast. My personal forecasts are much higher for this, again, because I'm taking into account the most recent quarter and they're not. So we'll have to see, but so far this is ludicrous. And another fact that I think you guys are going to be really impressed by is their balance sheet, which is something I actually didn't touch on in the Schrodinger original video. But there are some things in there that I think you guys would really learn about the company if you want to go check that out, if you haven't heard of this company before. But this company has been operating on no debt. This is super rare to see, especially when it comes to like a tech company or a pharma company, which Schrodinger is kind of a little bit of both. Here you have their balance sheet, which is their cash, long-term, and other assets, receivables, physical assets, all in the green, and there's not a single ounce of debt, which again, not a lot of companies have. I know Lululemon's one of those, but there's really not a lot of companies to compare them to. I mean, even Apple, Google, Microsoft, they all have debt, and Schrodinger, not a bit. And so here is a news article, which is also super exciting to see because their partnership with Google Cloud is being extended. This will provide Schrodinger with hundreds of millions of graphic processing units, or GPUs, effectively tripling Schrodinger's previous throughput and pushing the capacity to the equivalent of the world's most powerful supercomputers. Schrodinger aims to further accelerate drug discovery and material design through the application of its large-scale physics-based and machine learning method. And the crazy thing is they could already, before this partnership, process 100 times faster of their drug discovery material design than their competition. But with Google, they're going to be able to at least triple that in the short term. So we're talking about 3, 5, 6, 7, 800 times faster than their competition when it comes to drug discovery. So that is pretty incredible. I mean, we're talking about, the Johnson & Johnson's, 3M's, Pfizer's. These big corporations are going to start to soon pay attention to Schrodinger. And they already have a bunch of smaller clients that deal in the pharmaceutical space. So it'll be really interesting to see just one or two or possibly even three of the big pharmaceutical giants across the world pick up Schrodinger as their go-to for drug discovery. Once we see that, that's when I think we'll see, a 50 and a 70 and $100 billion market cap. For now, it's under 10 billion. To me, that's a steal for this type of product. And, I'm curious to see what your guys' thoughts are on Schrodinger. Ticker symbol SDGR. Also, I highly recommend going and watching my deep dive into the stock. I'll link it down in the comment section below. Hopefully you guys got some value out of this. And if you did, make sure you smash that like button because it really helps out the YouTube algorithm, helps my channel out as well. And if it's your first time to the channel, don't forget to subscribe because if you subscribe, that will bring a lifetime of luck to you and your family. Not really, I don't know if that's true. Just something I heard, but maybe, it's a possibility. But the only way to find out is to smash that subscribe button. Hopefully you guys really enjoyed this video and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you all so much for watching. Peace out.